Hi everybody, my name is Amelia Tracy. I am with Conducive, the development team working on the Village at Stone Barn. Just wanted to introduce myself to you today, let you know that we have officially launched the pre-sales for the project, and to just give you a slight overview of what it is. You should, if you're interested, get in touch with our realtors from the Bean Group, Sadie Halliday and Colin Murdaugh, whose contact information is in this email, to get more information, floor plans, etc. But I just wanted to give you a sense for what we're doing so that you come into it with a little bit of understanding. So thank you so much for signing up for our email list or getting in touch with us and wanting to know more. Again, my name is Amelia Tracy. I'm a native New Englander, moved to the Monadnock region in 2016. Have been a student of regenerative farming for many years, and was delighted to find an opportunity to deploy some of the best practices that I have identified for carbon farming, for mitigating the effects of climate change through agriculture, through building nutrient-dense and organic food systems here in our region. So the Village at Stone Barn is the nation's first regenerative agrihood. An agrihood is essentially a housing development, or in this case, a clustered village development on a working farm. The site that we've chosen at the Stone Barn is a 32-acre site. It's within 1 mile of downtown Peterborough, New Hampshire. It sits on a hill east of downtown, and from the front doors of the historic 1910 Stone Barn, that's where you can see the entire eastern profile of the Mount Monadnock Range. So it's a really amazing site. What we're going to be doing on site is redeveloping the historic structure of the Stone Barn that was demolished in the late 90s. So the refrigeration tower and an gambrel roofed L on the back of the building. We'll be redeveloping that, and we'll be putting 20 condos into the Stone Barn itself, and then building some new buildings that look like agricultural accessory buildings, but with a lot of southern facing light and really nice outdoor exposure on the southern part of the property that abuts a really beautiful wetlands. So all told, the site will have 30 solar powered and as close to net zero buildings as we can make them. Each of those 30 condos will have 1 covered parking space that could be upgraded to an electric vehicle charging station. There's additional uncovered parking on both sides of the barn for a second car. So the housing component is really cool because basically it allows lots of different kinds of people to be on site. So it's an intergenerational community. We've got 1-bedroom units that start in the 600 square foot range up to 1,400 square foot units that are 3 bedrooms. The bulk of the units can either be 2 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms, and many of them are all single level living. So for people with looking at sort of a retirement option, it's really good for that as well. So basically, this site is a historic redevelopment in a way that we're redoing the old barn, we're building new life into the old barn, but we're also building a farm that is working and has vegetables and flowers and mushrooms and honeybees and orchards to provide food sustainability on site, as well as to prove the concept of regenerative farming here in the Monadnock region. The thing about looking at farming into the future is that as weather changes, as weather patterns change, and we get more extreme weather conditions, it's going to be harder to know what's going to work, what kinds of farming systems will work, how we can feed ourselves locally, using the knowledge that basically the weather system will change. So this kind of farming that we're deploying, yes, it will produce common vegetables and other food staples, but it also will be using practices that will help us educate ourselves about how we can create thriving and robust food systems in a climate condition that is unsustainable, unsteady, unknowing. And so from that perspective, this project is really exciting to me. Why I think it's a viable project the most is because basically it takes a lot of time to learn what kind of solar to put on your roof and what kind of insulation to put in your building if it's an old building. It takes a lot of time to figure out how to do homesteading in a way that will work for you. This project is essentially a solar-powered homestead where we have a professional farmer working the farm and a cafe that you can drop into, but don't necessarily need to make it your, volunteer position. So that you can participate in the community, but you don't have to. So if it's a weekend place or you want to go on vacation for a month in the summer, do it. Enjoy your life. The place will be there. It will thrive with or without you being there to steward its thriving. And everybody's contribution is welcome and valid. So this is a project that basically is trying to demonstrate a proof of concept, something where there's got to be a better way to develop human civilization into the future, knowing that climate change is going to be the single most important thing for us to solve for. And if we can tackle food systems and energy systems and land use patterns and transportation and access to learning these things and deploying them in all of the regions in our country and all over the world, I think we have a better shot. So people who move into this site or visit the cafe, they inherently understand the value and the worth of that. And so there's a commonality, there's an appreciation for tackling some of those big issues in these kind of very tangible, fundamental ways that we're going for in this project. And that's why I'm excited to bring this thing to life. And that's why I'm excited that we're in the pre-sale stage so that we can start to meet the people who will be living there. So we've reserved about 5 of the units at this point, and I want to just tell you that the best units will go first, and the way to reserve a unit is to sign a contract that's a non-binding reservation agreement along with a $1,000 check that will be held in escrow. So that's the way to reserve the unit that you'd like. And the reason why it might make sense to do that not only is to get the best unit, but also to, if there are changes to any of the units that you'd like to see made for yourself, now is the time to consider what you might do, because we're going into our final design phase, and it will be much more difficult and costly to change things after the fact. So please get in touch with Sadie or Colin and talk to them about what you need and what you'd like. Again, my name is Amelia Tracy. I'm always happy to talk to you about the vision and the larger concept and any of the questions that you might have. But thank you so much for stewarding this project to this point, and I look forward to meeting you. Thanks so much.